Hey there, epic Warpath fans. All right, well, I've done it. I've got my Asterian Core Force and the Warden Super Heavy painted up, based, all ready to rock and fight off the evil GCPS, who, in my headcanon, have set up some mining operation on this alien world with these weird tube worms, and this retribution clade is going to be dispatched to kick them out and restore balance to the system. Yes. This was painted in a very traditional manner, no speed paints. I'll kind of talk you through kind of how I created it, but yeah, I'm pleased with the results, I gotta say, and I'm excited for more units to show up. I've got the reinforcements coming, and then all of the GCPS. I think the GCPS I'm gonna base up being a little bit more urban, so making these guys look like they're coming from the wilds, and the GCPS looking like they're defending their mining city operations and things of that nature. So yeah, very cool. Great time to be a part of Epic Warpath. The Mine Mini Factory and STL campaigns are about to kick off too, which is really, really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be silent here for a bit until we get to hobby stuff. All right, here's a little of how I did it. So one thing I focused on, because it was just driving me nuts, was I cut out the individual ears to the marionettes. I really thought that that was a beautiful STL design that they were showing us from the campaign. And when they came to me as shovel spoon heads, I thought, nah, I think we can fix this. And, we may have lost an ear or two along the way, but don't worry, everybody's fine. I just primed these in Hydra Turquoise from Army Painter. I painted in a very traditional manner. Again, no speed paints. Just kind of put base coats down, washed, highlighted. One effect paint I used was some super hot pink. And then this was my secret ingredient. Yes. To make the tube worms, it's carafe dinner, as the Canadians say, mac and cheese, as the Americans say, or as everybody else says. These are about as tall as your typical marionette or infantryman. And you can just cut them to all sorts of shapes and sizes. I glued them down to the bases, and then after they were all glued down in various random ways, I painted them in mocha skin, and then I applied a texture paint around the tube worms and around the bases, leaving the infantry divots clean. So what was the magical texture paint I made? Well, it's like 3 parts baking soda, 1 part PVA glue, 1 part burnt sienna, or whatever paint turfy color you want, and 1 part fine ballast. Basically, you're looking for a milkshake-like consistency of whatever kind of texture paint you're whipping up, and then I just made sure it was in a sealable jar and I could reuse it easily. I took 3 main weapons into the fight of basing, which, no joke, is time consuming. I have 1 just clean paintbrush ready for the moment, and then I have a really just cheapo, long bristled synthetic brush, which is the middle brush there, to push the texture paint around, and then ye old toothpick. And how does this go? Well, you just load up the front of your cheapo brush. You kind of deposit texture paint down and push and slide into areas you want. Now, your brush, as you can see here as I'm cleaning up, it's going to get really mucky, and it's going to get mucky along down the bristles. You want to clean that off, because if you don't, you're going to transfer to like the inner thigh of your marionette, and nobody wants burnt sienna on their inner thigh. That's just weird. So when that happens, that's when you grab your oh no brush and clean up. Just, you know, dip in water and wipe away. Now the toothpick is great because you can dot, like the marionettes have these forked feet. The ciphers don't, but the marionettes do. So to get right between their toes, you might need to use that. And then also I found you could kind of load up the edge of the toothpick, stick it down in a place, and kind of roll it and roll the texture paint off, which was great. To base the chiros and the chromas, I just drilled a hole in the back end there, like way at the back, for their balance point, and then mounted on a nail on their bases. For the sky razors, I cannibalized some translucent flight pegs, and yeah, so they're all at like various angles and degrees and things that look like they're buffeted on the wind. To finish up the bases, this will never be a painting channel, but this is just some satisfying hobby footage here. Oh yeah. We're just black craft paint, and we just go around and do the edge, you know, nice and clean and tidy. I think it gives a really good high contrast pop. And now it's time to flock it up. Yeah, for our tufts, we've got this gamer grass stuff, tiny. It's like 2 millimeter tall grass, and it's 2 millimeters wide. I built myself this little tool, which is a nail super glued on the end of a colored pencil. Just using it to dot glue into the hungry mouths of the tube worms, and then we're just gonna apply tufts inside in whatever randomy ways we want. Use tweezers, pick them up. I found actually that a little bit bigger of tuft than you think probably goes there is better. And then just because I've cleaned off the glue off of the nail here, I can use it to push down a little bit in there. Yeah, just go around, and it'll only take you like 3 hours to get through an army. Depending on how many tube worms you got. Yeah. Well, thanks for sticking with me here, gang. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to doing some more epic Warpath content. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.